It's a late morning here, 4:50 a.m. start, because Cole and Evan had a recovery run today of only 5 miles. So we're able to get a little extra sleep, and the kids have an easy day. Evan's recovering from a really hard 3x1 mile session yesterday, and Cole is still trying to recover from his glute niggle. So fingers crossed for that. So hopefully he can get that taken care of and still race next Sunday. This morning is run number 1 for me. 5 miles is a little light for me, so I'll do another one after I send the kids off to school. I'll talk a little bit more this afternoon about how to race the last 10K of a marathon fast and hard. I know everybody always hits the wall at mile 20, or a lot of people do. Around 19, 20, 21, 22, a lot of people hit a wall around there. And I found something that really works well for me, and something that really works really well for my friend Denny. And we've both been very successful with it. And I'll share that with you guys in just a little bit. All right, let's finish up this run. A little cloudy day today. Nice and easy 5 miles. See you this afternoon. Okay, part 2 of the recovery run. Decided to come out to the trail and finish up the run. It's been too long wearing my Salomon S-Lab Ultras. I like to wear really cushioned shoes on the road, but on the trail I really like firm, low profile shoes with very good form fit, because I found that in my trail running experience, especially for like long distance, 50 mile, 100 mile distances, it's not like the hard shoes that give me blisters. It's really the soft ones, the ones that I move around a lot in, and it's the movement inside the shoe that causes friction and ultimately blisters for me. So I want to stay away from that. So I really like form-fitting shoes like the S-Lab Ultras, because it fits like almost like a soccer boot. So there's just zero movement in the shoe, and I never get blisters from these, no matter how many miles I run. So these are awesome. I love it. All right, today I want to talk about how to run the last 10K of a marathon the 18 or 20 or 22 mile wall is such a common issue for marathoners. And it was for me for a long time. I couldn't figure it out. I tried all different kinds of mileage volume, all different kinds of workout programs and strength training and things like that. And I never could solve the problem until recently. I've discovered while training and doing more medium long runs, my fitness has really skyrocketed, and so has Evan's. Also my friend Denny. But it's not that we're just doing more medium long runs. It's the way that we do them and the way that we space them out. So in order to develop the strength and fitness to kick hard in the last 10K of a marathon, I found that doing 2 medium long runs and 1 long run per week is ideal. And this is how I space them out. The first medium long run always follows some kind of workout or session. So for example, on a Tuesday, if I do a session and let's say I do 1000s or 1Ks, and then of course on a calendar I'll build out how I'm going to progress those 1Ks and improve, and whether I improve from 800s to 1Ks to 1200s, or increase the pace or decrease the rest interval. There's some kind of progression that I want to put into the calendar over the course of several weeks. But in marathon training, I'm not going to make those heavy. For example, in order to train for a 5K, I would do those paces much faster than 5K pace. But for a marathon build, I'll do them just at 5K pace. So they're challenging and they'll put fatigue in the legs, but they're not gonna put me out. I don't need to take a rest day for the next 2 days. Instead, I'll have fatigued legs the next day, but DOMS hasn't set in yet. So I'll do the very next day, following the session, I'll do a medium long run. And that medium long run has to be quality. So I used to just do medium long and long runs, easy pace, and in my easy pace range. But what I discovered was I'll be good for the first 18 to 20 miles in a marathon, but after that, the wheels fall off every single time. So the way that I resolve that issue is on the first medium long run, after a quality session, I make the medium long run quality. And then I also map that out over time on a calendar to make sure that I build on top of that quality. So if I'm going to do 4 miles of quality in a 12 to 14 mile run on that Wednesday medium long run, I'm going to make sure that the next week is going to be 6 miles of quality, and the next week is going to be 7 or 8, and continue to build on top of it. Whether I do it as fartleks or whether I do it as a progression or tempo cruise intervals, I don't care. As long as I know that I'm progressing and that each week that Wednesday medium long run is harder and I know I'm getting stronger and fitter, then I'm good to go. So that's the first one. And then I'll have, in the thick of marathon training, I'll have another medium long run, maybe on a Friday. And then on that Friday, I'll make that an easy pace run at the very beginning, but I'll start sprinkling in some steady state. And as the weeks go by, again, I look on the calendar and I space it out over time. And as the weeks go by, I add in more and more proportion of steady state, so that eventually on that Friday, I'll be doing steady state runs all the way through. And then if I'm very comfortable at steady state towards the end of the training block, I'll put quality in those and maybe do some fartleks just to get my legs moving. Then on the Sunday long run, it's always quality. And just like I said before, on a calendar, I'll map it out and make sure that in the beginning of the training block, if I can only do maybe 4 miles at marathon pace, I'll do 5 or 6 in the next week, just an amount where I know that I can recover on Monday with a recovery run, not be sore, and be able to do my quality session on Tuesday again. That is the guide. So I don't care how I do my marathon pace miles on Sundays, as long as I improve. So if I have to do 10 miles with 2-minute floats in between every single mile, I'll do that. But I'll make sure that in the next week, I'll make it a little bit harder. I'll do 2 miles or 5 times 2 miles to make it a little bit harder. And then I will make that 3 times 4 miles to make it even harder.
Yeah.
So in the next week, in the following week. So make sure that you just don't go running without a plan. Go with the objective of improving your fitness, moving your fitness graph to the right, just like Stephen Scullion says all the time. That's what he means. So make sure there's improvement. When you're off season and you're not racing and there is no race on the schedule, then go out and enjoy and connect with your runs. Get out on the trail like I am today and just enjoy being out on the trail. That's what it's all about. All right, I hope you're able to glean some value from this talk, how to race hard in the last 10K of a marathon. Sounds pretty tough, but I guarantee if you plan it out, you incorporate these medium long runs strategically, you're gonna get it done. All right, see you in the next one.